Where in your life do you or do you not have or see freedom?
I guess in this country, we're very lucky in that we do have freedom largely to travel, to vote, to make an impression wherever we want, so long as it doesn't impinge on the freedoms, liberties of other people. Where don't I see it? I try not to listen to the news too much these days because everywhere I look, I see people's freedoms being taken away from them. I worked for a while with Northumberland Pride. I set that up because I felt that people's freedom of expression wasn't always being taken as it should be. They didn't have that. I'd say we're getting better at that, but not totally. So I still see issues there. But generally as a country, we have a great democracy, and I think that does uphold our freedoms. I think we're very lucky.
Does judgment from society restrict your freedom to present yourself how you wish? If so, or if not, why?
I think it's easier now as I've got older, actually. I certainly remember as a teen, peer pressure, everything like that. People are always terrified or very concerned about how society is going to judge them. I still think we all feel that a little bit. But there's a side to that, isn't there, where do you toe the line, or do you actually just want to try and express yourself within the bounds of the law? And perhaps I've got a little bit better at that, personally, I hope.
How do you think freedom has changed since World War II or in your lifetime?
In some ways, I'd say our freedom perhaps has grown a little. I'm not sure how superficial that is. My grandfather fought in the Second World War, and so I'm very, very mindful of those freedoms that we may not now have if people like him hadn't fought. I'm also very mindful of democracy as a woman, especially, and in a previous life I was a counsellor, so I'm quite aware that we shouldn't take democracy or freedom sort of lightly. We can vote, women can vote. I think that has got better, but I still see racial hatred, I still see extremism, I still see persecution of vulnerable people, and I think perhaps they might answer that question on freedom very differently. I think as a country we try, and I think we have a good record. We're not perfect, we've got a long way to go, and if you look at a global view and you see the atrocities and the extremism that's happening now, then I see places where freedom's very, very far from what people have.
How do things such as race, gender, disability, sexuality and wealth affect your or other people's freedom?
Very much so, but I think in subtle ways. I grew up just with a mother looking after us. We didn't have a lot of money, and yes, I had freedom. I grew up in Cornwall. We could run and sort of play just wherever we wanted. But on the other hand, freedom, school, aspiration, things like that, there are certain doors that were closed, and I still feel that is a little bit. I think we're better as a country at sort of aspiration, at allowing people to do what they want. But I'm still very much aware that if you have wealth or power or position, a lot of doors open for you, you'll have a lot more freedoms. Perhaps that's just my personal perception, but I do think it exists. I think we need more sort of equality of opportunity, and that would give greater freedom to more people.
Can you tell me about a place or places that you do or don't have freedom?
Ooh, gosh, you really are asking some tough questions. Okay, you can make a very simple division at, home life, free time. You can go home, read a book, watch TV, whatever you want. I guess you have freedom to be yourself more there. But we operate in a society, and society necessitates having rules, having regulations, having tighter ones. If I go back to my place of work, I will not have the freedom to, just wander around. I will be set myself certain tasks, And, you know, that is, I suppose, that does limit your freedom if you want to look at it in that sense, necessarily so. But I guess, yeah, there's a difference. And that's a difference because we need that for society to function.